Well, good morning. I'm back in Vermont again. Our trip to Arizona is done, and it was great. We got to spend some time with my son out there in Arizona, and on the way back, we stopped in Texas. Got to visit with my brother-in-law for who I hadn't seen for a while, with COVID and all. So it was great. We it was a good visit. I picked up a few guns, as you saw, if you watched the videos. I got some good loot. I got some stuff that needs just a little work, and I've got some stuff that needs a lot of work. And both of them are fine with me. I like doing the work. So um, it was odd that, well, maybe not odd, but uh, most of the guns, well, all the guns that I bought in Arizona. Arizona had a lot of old military surplus and a lot of CNR type guns, and they were just there, and it was wonderful because I had my CNR, and it was nice to. For those who don't know what a CNR is, it's a type of FFL, and it's for curios and relics. And the idea is that I can buy a gun that's 50 years or older and just use my license. Don't have That's my background check, so I can go in, find a gun that I want, be out in 10 minutes because just and it's that easy. So it's that easy, but it's also that easy that you can spend some money too. And, it happens so quick. And they can also buy guns online, which I have done, and I've showcased here some guns online that I bought online that I've worked on. So anyway, one of the gun that probably needs the most work out of all the ones that I bought was the 3030 or the 30 WCF. They called it then. It's a 1919, and if you remember the videos, it it looked really bad. It still looks bad, but it's getting better. I've only worked on it for one day and 2 days, maybe 2 days, and let me show you what I got so far on this. Okay, this is the stock, the butt stock, and you can see it. It's got a lot of stuff wrong with it. It's rotted, and it's got a lot of cracks on it. I have a couple of patches in here. And it's what it's doing is it's holding it together. Because if you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the inside of it's falling apart. Um, I haven't decided what to do with it yet. Um, Part of me wants to say, hey, that looks pretty cool on there. Let's let's leave it. And I put on Facebook a post in the Winchester page, and it talks about, um, I don't know what to do with this gun. And I got some people were, do with it what you want. It's your gun. And some people get very angry, and they're like, no, you don't need to do anything with that gun. Take it, put it up on a wall. Um, it's got history to it and whatever. This thing had wire wrapped around. I think you can still see where the lines from the wire were to hold it together. The actual gun itself was in rough shape. So for me, yeah, it has history, and I like history. But the history to me that it has is a history of neglect and abuse, and it bothers me to see a gun that could or has the potential to be a shooter, and which is what it was designed to be, and then to take it and just stick it up on a wall and look at it. That me. That's not what I like to do. So I don't know what to do with the wood. This is the fore end wood looks just the same. And the question is whether or not I mean, I can fix the cracks up around the wrist and so forth, and I can reinforce it with some screws and stuff. And is it really safe to use to shoot? I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm open for suggestions. If anybody has suggestions about what to do with this, then or the whole thing in general, write me, and and we'll see what happens. I like I said, I'm open for suggestions. This is the rest of it. Ooh, get some tape on it. The barrel itself is a nickel steel. How do I know that? Because it says right on there, nickel steel for smokeless uh, powder. Uh, what Winchester did was they added nickel to the barrel, or to the steel that went into the barrel, and they did that to make it stronger. And I think part of that was because they changed over from the smokeless powder, from the black powder to smokeless, which was a lot more powerful, and it just added strength to the barrel itself. It also helped with corrosion. Um, I mean, you can see where there's a little bluing left on there. Usually, you'll find some bluing underneath the the forestock, to the Parkinson's again, the forestock, and that way there you can tell. I mean that this has been blued at one time, and probably will be blued again. I don't know. The rear sight, I've never seen a rear sight like this on a Winchester. I'm not sure whether that's a factory sight or whether it's something that somebody just put on there. I don't know. I'll see what happens. I'm going to do my research and find out what's going on. I like this. It's got the saddle ring. Uh, Now, when I first got it, when you cycle it, the little door didn't open. It still has problems opening. And there it is. There it is. It's open now. The little door for loading. And the reason for that is because the loader is in the way. The loader, for those of you who've never looked inside a 3030, is an important part. It sits in there like this. Okay. On the pre-64s, there's two screws holding it in. Screw there, and screw there. And what it does is you have your rounds in the magazine, and it gets pushed when you have the handle closed. It gets pushed down inside the loader. When you pull down on the handle, there's a spring that causes this thing to go boink like that, and it points up. Your magazine comes along, not magazine, your bolt comes along and hits it and pushes it up into the chamber and locks it in there. When you close the handle, this thing pops back down again. Now, when it goes down, it has to go all the way down in order for the little door to open up. In my experience, this one here is an old one. In my experience, what happens is this thing gets bent somehow. I don't know how it gets bent, but I've replaced 3 of them that have been bent. So when it gets bent, it stays up a little bit, and when you try to open the door, it won't open. I took the one out of this gun, and yes, it was bent. So I tried to straighten it out the best I could, and it's pretty straight right now. So then I looked when I was messing with it. I looked and I realized that this part here is also bent. So how that got bent, I don't know. I don't know how it got bent, but it was bent, and I took it, and I in the most high-tech way that I could, I put one end in the vise and I pulled back on it, and I got it so that it's so that it's pretty straight, so that we can pretty much open the thing so that the rounds will be able to be loaded and they go into the magazine. And also the rounds in the magazine will be able to come down and go inside. See, there it is with the handle closed. Handle open. See it in there? The loader has it angled up towards the chamber. And then you close it. It goes inside. I can do that because I have the hammer's not working. I have no spring on the hammer, so that's how your 30-30 works. Now, I got that so that will, for the most part, will open up so I can put rounds in there and the rounds will come down through. Another thing that I noticed about this is, can you see it? It's bent. It's bent off to the side, off to the left. When I got it, I noticed that the buttstock was at an angle. And I thought, well, the buttstock's broke, that's why it's at an angle. Well, no, it's at an angle because the upper tang is bent. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do about trying to straighten that out yet. Probably it'd be another trip to the vise and do the best I can on that. Because I think eventually it'll affect the operation of the hammer. There's no spring, but so that's one other thing that's wrong with this, and hopefully that'll be an easy fix. Another thing that's wrong is I told you there's a lot of things wrong with this, is that the safety doesn't work. The way a safety on a 30-30 works is, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a little block that sits right here that prevents the trigger from being pulled back. When you close it and you push down on that little nub right there, it lowers that block so that you can pull the trigger. That's very simple. There's a spring here that, well, I don't know if you can see the spring. There's a spring in there that holds it down so that'll work. That should be an easy fix also. But all these little easy fixes actually equal a major project. I invite people to write me and tell me in their experience what they think should be done with this gun. I don't know, I just can't see putting it on the wall. I have some wall hangers, very few, because for the most part I've worked and got the guns so that they can shoot, because, well, that's what they should do. Anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the mudroom. I'm probably going to be working on several guns at the same time. I did, like many people, I became gun rich. I've got some guns, but parts poor, which is, I don't have, now because I did that, I don't have the money to buy the parts. So it's going to take time to do that, so that in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on these as much as I can without having to buy parts. And so that when the parts come in, I can just throw the parts in and we can be ready to go. I have a couple of guns that I'm thinking of that don't need, one needs a screw or 2 screws, and the other one needs an insert in the barrel, in the chamber, and they'll both be ready to go. So so some of them will be able to get done quickly, and some of them we won't. So, but anyway, it's good to be back, and I'll be back soon with another video of I think I'm going to work on this gun for a while and get done what I have to get done. All right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I need subscribers. Um, and you will also be able to get updates on any and all of my projects that I work on. You'll be able to get a notification of an update, and you can watch how things go. All right. Well, thank you.